I have now predicted for 4 Diego Lopez fights on this channel in the last year. I have voted against Diego Lopez in every single fight. He has won the 3 fights that have already happened that I've predicted for. I've been wrong on Diego Lopez every time, and I keep saying after every time, I need to stop doubting this guy. Every time I say it, you could go back to the 306 reaction video. You can go back to the 303 live reaction video. You go back to the 300 live reaction video. Every time I have said, I'm going to stop doubting this guy. Then they match him up against someone who I doubt. Like, then they match him up against Brian Ortega, and I'm like, he's not going to beat Brian Ortega, and then he beats Brian Ortega. And then they match him up against Volkanovski, and I'm like, he's not going to beat Volkanovski. And then
he loses to Volkanovski.
Yeah. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Hardcore and the Casual podcast. I'm your host, Justin, and on today's episode, I am joined, as always, by Elijah, and we are also joined today by our champion.
Yeah, baby.
How's it going, Matt?
It's going good.
So, Matt won it, I think, 2 weeks ago on our 1-year anniversary episode. You defended it successfully with Emmett versus Lerone Murphy.
Yep.
You and Tyler actually ended up tying. Me and Elijah lost, straight up lost. Tyler actually tied with you.
Interesting.
We did not get Tyler back for this episode. He is currently at work at the time of us filming this. As you can see, it is bright outside. This is filmed during the day, which we usually don't do. But we got some stuff going on tonight, so we wanted to get out of the way early. We are doing predictions for UFC 314 Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. We're also Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett in the co-main event. There is also a bunch of other cool stuff on this card. We are going to go down the entire card, predict every fight on the card, and the winner will end up getting that belt next week. Before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. Most of the card was kind of boring. Honestly, it wasn't the greatest card in the world. It was really just the main event, which was kind of disappointing. It wasn't really that entertaining of a fight.
Nah.
I mean, Lerone Murphy did exactly what I talked to you about.
He literally did.
He literally did exactly what I said he was going to do on the last episode, which was stay at distance, point fight, and pick him apart from the outside and never let him get close.
And then Emmett just didn't look like he looked confused.
Yeah,
what do I do now?
Emmett was not able to get anything off on him. He wasn't able to really land anything big. He got one big takedown. The judges, one judge scored like the first and the second round, or the first and the third to Emmett. One judge had the 5th round to Emmett. So I guess there could be a conversation of like Emmett won by split decision. There could be that conversation because the judges gave, like, individually out of the 3, one judge gave round 1 to Emmett, one judge gave round 3 to Emmett, and one judge gave round 5 to Emmett.
That's a little scary though. I don't know.
That's a little sketchy. I don't see it. Lerone Murphy won maybe all rounds. I feel like round 1 was Josh Emmett's. Other than that, can't really give him any of them. Yeah, it was kind of a boring performance. Lerone Murphy's going to get a top 5 opponent now, probably like a Brian Ortega. He called for Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega seems to want to move up to lightweight, though.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know where you go with Lerone Murphy here. I don't think you give him like Evloev. I think Evloev should wait for a title shot. I've been hearing about a debuting Aaron Pico versus Evloev. Maybe you give Aaron Pico... maybe you do Aaron Pico versus Lerone Murphy.
Yeah, give him the Murphy.
Because, I mean, Aaron Pico's good. He's like a Bellator fighter, fought in the PFL like once or twice, but he's like really good.
You can't just have him come over here and, skip the line.
Yeah, though. Fight the literal number one contender.
No, Evloev's worked his way up to that.
Exactly.
Let him have his time.
He's beaten one of the guys that are in the title fight this weekend.
Exactly.
Like, he's already beaten Diego Lopez, and Diego Lopez is fighting for a title before him.
Yeah.
You can't just give him a debuting guy.
No.
Or you can't give him Lerone Murphy, who's like number 9 in the division.
Very wrong.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Other than that, there's not really much to talk about from last week. No. It was another card. Pat Sabatini won. Yeah. It was just another card.
They had potential to shake things up a little bit with the main event, but exactly
it was just another card.
Go, so.
All right. So now moving on, we can now go into our predictions for UFC 314, and there's a lot to talk about on the main card. So we are going to move fairly quickly through the prelims. Does that sound fair to everyone?
That's fine. It
feels
like it's been forever since we've had a pay-per-view, though.
Yeah. I mean, your birthday.
Your
birthday was the last time.
It feels like forever ago, though, already.
It's already my birthday now.
They leave you craving a good pay-per-view, I'll tell you that.
All right. So first up, we've got a women's bantamweight fight between Nora Cornoli versus Haley Corwan. So
Out of the corn.
Nora is 8-2 and Haley is 7-3. I've never seen either of these girls fight, so you're not getting anything else out of me. Either CR or HC. Or, sorry, either NC or HC, sorry. NC or HC.
NC or HC. Okay. I should start looking at the whole card. But I do like the prelims, early prelims, records.
It's like if you don't know them, then all you can really judge by is the records, honestly.
Exactly.
I did a little bit of research on the next fight, though, not going to lie.
Okay.
All right.
As not against the rules.
All right, 3, 2, 1. I have Nora. We all have Nora. All right.
Straight down the board, Nora.
All right. Next up, we've got a middleweight fight between Trayshawn Gore and Marco Trullo. So Trayshawn Gore is 6-2. Marco Trullo is 13-1.
Okay, nice.
So I think he got a win over Eor Prateria in his last fight. I'm pretty sure. So I mean, that's like just outside of the top 15.
He's 13-1.
13-1, and he's fighting Trayshawn Gore. I think like 4. But Trayshawn Gore is a wrestler. Marco seems to be more of a striker, but he does seem to have a grappling base from the research that I did.
We have watched our fair share of Trayshawn Gore fights, though, especially since Tough.
6-2 ain't the best record, though.
I thought he would have had way more fights.
It's a rough fight. That's a rough record. All right. So either TG or MT.
All right. I love that sound.
All right. 3, 2, 1. I have MT. We all got MT. All right.
I wouldn't mind a Trayshawn Gore win.
I would. All right.
Oh, you want Petrosky.
Oh, we got one of your boys, Matt.
Let's go.
So we've got Sumu Darchi versus Mitch Raposo.
Yep.
Yeah, Mitch Raposo
Throw
fight.
back to the same season of Tough.
So Sumu Darchi is 16-7. He's been in and out of the top 15 at flyweight. And then Mitch Raposo is 9-2, has not broken through into the top 15 yet.
No, I didn't even know that he was back in the UFC though. I
Yeah,
thought he was fighting
honestly-
at a different promotion, like a lower tier, like in Boston somewhere.
This has to be a short notice fight. Mitch Raposo has not done enough to get a fight against Sumu Darchi.
Has he actually been in the UFC? Like this might be they just called him in.
No, I remember Mitch Raposo fighting once in the
He
UFC
has
at
before,
least,
but that was another one where he got called up.
I don't know. All I know is getting Sumu Darchi right now at this point 9-2 is you're basically in the top 15 at this point if you win. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So
this one's a tough one now.
Either SM or MR.
Jesus. All right.
3, 2, 1. I got Sumu Darchi. All right. Elijah and I both have Sumu Darchi. Matt has Mitch Raposo. Mitch Raposo, I think, had like more of a wrestling base, right?
He's more of a wrestler, yeah, but he does let his hands go.
Sumu Darchi, I've seen, is very good at scrambles. I don't know how his submission game is or how his off the back game is, but hey, who knows? Who knows?
From what I remember, Mitch has got a little bit of power. That's a little bit
Sumu
more than
Darchi's-
usual for the weight.
Sumu Darchi's got some power too. He's lanky for the division. He's a natural bantamweight who cuts down to flyweight, guaranteed. He's
Should
big.
be a scrap. Hopefully, let's go Mitch.
Hell yeah. I'm rooting for Mitch Raposo. I want Mitch to win. I just
cool.
think
He's cool
I just think Sumu Darchi's going to catch him with like a
100%,
knee or something.
yeah.
But all right, next up, middleweight fight. We've got Sequadius Dumas. I'm just going to call him Dumas versus Mikhail Olajaychuk. Mikhail Olajaychuk. He's the one that got submitted by Kevin Holland in a couple minutes. Like he knocked down Kevin Holland and then Kevin like submitted him off his back. Dumas, I don't know much about Dumas. He's 10-2 and Olajaychuk is 19-9-0.
Damn. Vet.
So all
Vet.
right.
What initials we got again?
SD or MO? All right. 3, 2, 1, flip. I've got Dumas.
Yep.
You've got Dumas, and Elijah has Olajaychuk.
Oh,
Say your
right.
MO.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I believe in him. I believe in
I
him.
like it.
All right, moving on to the prelims. This is where stuff starts to get a little more juicy.
Woo!
Darren Elkins versus Julian Rosa. Sorry. This is a featherweight bout. Darren Elkins has a record of 29-11.
Woo!
Julian Rosa 30-12. They almost have identical records.
Wow.
So
Wow.
this is gonna be a fun fight. Darren the Damage Elkins. I know Julian Rosa obviously is a vet. I
think I got mine.
All right, yeah, I got mine too.
What are the names?
DE or JE.
Oh, and they got similar looking initials too.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
This is a real
These guys
even
just
fight.
do everything together, huh?
It's D versus J.
All right, 3, 2, 1. I've got Darren Elkins. All of us got the damage. All right.
Are we officially all split up on choices though, or you and Elijah still have some of the few?
We're split.
Yeah, I think we're all split. Yeah, we're all
Nice.
split now.
So
Okay.
someone's taking this belt.
Next up, my main event. We've got Jim Miller versus Chase Hooper.
Ooh.
Yo,
That's a
come
good
on.
fight.
That's top 5.
38-18 versus 15-3-1.
Oh,
In Chase Hooper's last fight, he beat Clay Guida, another veteran, so we know that he's got that ability to beat veterans. Jim Miller is a different kind of veteran, though. I mean, Chase Hooper is a grappler. I mean, that's what he started with, being a grappler. So I can see how fighting Clay Guida, stylistically, it didn't like disadvantage him.
yeah.
Now he's fighting Jim Miller, who's got the ground game, but also has very good striking as well.
I think we're leaving out one part.
What's
of
the
this
part?
equation. It's not just Jim Miller. It's Jim effing Miller.
Jim F. and Miller.
So-
Man, but I love Chase Hooper, but
Chase Hooper
but
did
Jim
show
Miller's
up
our
against Guida too, pretty
Jim
good.
Miller's our boy though.
And when I,
don't
think
know.
of like OGs like that, I put Guida and Miller probably on the same page of like terms of success.
Yeah.
Like
I
right,
mean-
they're like neck and neck in there.
I mean, dude, this guy Chase Hooper beat the burp.
Oh,
beat the
yeah,
burp.
He did.
All right. We ready? So either JM or CH.
Oh, I'm not ready. Nah, yeah, give me like 10 seconds.
All right,
This
all
is-
right, take
This
your
is
time.
terrible. I don't want either of them to lose.
I don't either. I mean, I feel like it's Jim Miller's time. He said 50 fights. He's at. Didn't he say he wanted 50 fights?
Oh, dude, I can't.
Bro,
No, he's already at almost. He's almost at 60. This will be his 59th fight. I think I'm doing that math right. I think this is his 59th. No,
And he's still going. Some people
38 plus 18. That's 56. So this will be his 57th fight. I think he
That's
said
a
he
lot.
wants. I think he said he wants 60 before he retires.
And meanwhile, BJ Penn's
Actually,
off the rails with
tech-
less than 30 fights.
Technically, he has one no contest. So technically, he has an extra fight.
Okay.
So I don't know how you'd count the no con. It doesn't
fight.
matter right
It's a
now.
fight.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Chase Hooper. And Matt has Jim Miller.
bro.
All right.
That old dog's gonna fight when you rattle his cage, man.
I don't like seeing like prospects lose. It's just like
Me either, but Chase-
then eventually they get to the title and then it's like, yeah, but that guy lost to Jim Miller. It's like, All right.
I feel like Jim Miller does it, man. That'd be fun.
Yeah. All right, next up, women's strawweight bout so we've got the former title contender Yao Xiaonan versus the probably what was gonna be the next title challenger, Vivian Janaroba.
Okay.
Vivian's a grappler. Jan is a striker. Jan is 19-4-0. Vivian is 21-3. So either YX or VJ.
Oh, nice.
All right. 3, 2, 1. VJ. I assumed we were all going with Janaroba. Okay. Now we've got the main event of the prelims. We have Dan 50K E. Gay versus Sean Woodson. Danny Gay, 18-9. Notable things: he fought Diego Lopez.
Short notice.
6 hours. Almost beat him.
Was that a 3-rounder?
That was a 3-rounder. He almost beat him too.
He was turning
He had him
on.
rocked in the 3rd round, and that's probably gonna. I mean, the spoiler alert. That might think about that Dan Ige fight before you start predicting for this main event tonight.
No. I just have to think about every Volk fight I've ever seen before.
All right.
That one.
And then Sean Woodson is 13-1-1. I mean, I've seen Sean Woodson do some really good work. I don't know though. Okay.
Yeah.
Every
now and then Sean Woodson.
Every Dan Ige fight or Josh Emmett fight, you just can't be. You can't be for sure. You know.
No,
you just can never be for sure. Their records are. They don't have the best records. They lose a lot, but like when they land, they land. So
Hard.
all right, 3, 2, 1. I've got 50K Dan Ige. So do all of you. Okay. We're pretty even on this card. We haven't had many.
Watch none of them be right.
Yeah, really.
None of us. We
All of
just
us wrong.
lose miserably.
I'm getting that belt back.
All right, it's time for the main card.
Let's go.
We have, in our first fight, we have Elijah's boy, Dominic Reyes, taking on Nikita Krylov. Nikita Krylov is 39-0. Dominic Reyes is 14-4-0. We know a fair amount of Dominic Reyes' past. I mean, split decision with John Jones, went on a losing streak of a couple fights, all getting knocked out. He's recently come back, knocked out Dustin Jacoby. Nikita Krylov, he has a split decision loss to Glover Teixeira right before Glover, like right during Glover's like title run when he's going to the title. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, a split decision to Glover Teixeira, and we knew what Glover looked like on that run to the title.
Yep.
That's a pretty good loss. He has wins over guys like Johnny Walker and VOLKANOVSKI. He's like number 6 or 7 in the division. Losses to like Ankalaev, only really the top guys like Jan Blachowicz. So, I mean, this is a hard one to predict. Honestly, I've been looking at this list all day. I know most of the guys that I've been like wanting to predict. These next 2 fights, I don't know. These next 2 fights, I don't know.
Sometimes you just be better off taking a coin and flipping it.
Exactly. That might be what I'm about to do. Man.
That's what I'm doing, and I'm gonna lock it in.
I already know who Elijah's gonna pick, so I'm just gonna go against Elijah. All right, 3, 2, 1. I'm going Nikita Krylov.
The GOAT.
You both went Dominic Reyes. All right.
The GOAT.
Now, if Reyes had lost his last fight, I was no.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
But he's given a little hope. He's given a little hope.
That was an impressive performance by him in his last fight against Dustin Jacoby.
Before that, he just looked lost.
Yeah.
Now when he stepped in there again, it looked like he was confident. He's like, okay, fuck yeah, I know what I'm doing.
If Dominic Reyes was to get his hands on a light heavyweight title, should he call out John Jones again? If John Jones was to beat Tom Aspinall?
Hell no.
If he gets his hands on the light heavyweight title, then yeah, I'd say. I mean, I'd do it. Why not? Like you're not going to get the fight. Most likely, he's going to retire by that point.
Try, though,
you might as well throw it out there. Like, dude, like we're both champs now. You want to run it back or not?
If I were him, I'd want to run it with Pereira.
If he knocks out Pereira.
Oh,
if he knocks out Pereira, then he has to fight Jones.
If he knocks out Pereira,
could see that.
I'll eat my left shoe. I'll eat my left shoe.
Whole thing?
Whole thing on camera. I'll film the whole thing.
Remember this.
I'll remember that.
If he knocks out Alex Pereira.
But if that fight happens,
yeah, I'll be on pins and needles the whole fight.
We'll give you a chocolate bar with fart spray on it.
Oh, make it nice and tasty for him.
All right. Next fight, another hard one to decide on. We have Bryce Mitchell versus John Silva. Once again, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. It's definitely spelled Gene, but it's pronounced John. Bryce Mitchell, 17-3-0, taking losses to Josh Emmett in his last fight, Ilya Topuria before that. Has some good wins against guys like Edson Barboza, and his most recent fight was against Kron Gracie, where he got that knockout. But I mean, Kron Gracie wasn't doing anything.
He just sat there and pulled guard, right?
Gene Silva is a completely different. John Silva is a completely different animal.
Fighting nerd.
Yeah, at 15-2, fighting nerd. He's one of the main fighting nerds that I'm all about now. Carlos Pratas was supposed to be on this card, but he's no longer. He's going to be fighting Ian Gary later this month. So they replaced him with Gene Silva. I mean, that's a pretty good replacement. One for one.
That is really good.
Gene Silva's been on a roll lately, knocking out Drew Dober, knocking out Charles Jourdain. Who was his last fight? Who was? I gotta look at this. Oh yeah, it was like it was like that like Turkish guy. Was he Turkish? No, he was like Armenian guy. I forgot his name. It didn't matter. He was like 6-1 in the UFC or something, or I think he was like 6-3. He was not that good.
Yeah,
he was kind of a can. All right, so Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva, BM versus JS.
Obviously, Mitchell's a grappler. What's Silva?
He's more of a striker. He's been taken down by strikers, actually. Like, strikers have been successful at taking him down. Like Charles Jourdain. Charles Jourdain is a striker. He was able to take down and control Gene for a little bit, but then eventually got knocked out.
But is that misleading? Is he just not expecting a takedown from a striker?
Yeah, that it could be
he
that.
ends up getting back up and then knocking him out. Man, this makes my choice much harder.
I know, right? This is, like I said, this is one of the ones where I'm like, I have no goddamn clue.
I've almost put down both names like twice now.
How did Bryce Mitchell do against Ilia Topuria? I didn't see that.
He did really good. He actually took Ilia down a couple of times, controlled him for a little bit, but then once Bryce started to wear out, it went so downhill for him. It was like literally watching that fight was like Bryce Mitchell. Like that's what Bryce Mitchell's success looked like in the Ilia Topuria fight. It looked like he was going to win, and then it just steep decline.
By what round?
Like second round. He was starting to get beat up in the second round.
How many rounds? This is a 3-rounder, obviously.
Yeah.
Man, this is not easy at all.
That was a steep drop.
Yes.
It was a steep drop. When I was watching the fight, it was quick.
And it was just a slow, incline, too. It was slow, and then it just immediately off a cliff.
It was just like he started getting boxed up. He started getting stuffed. He got knocked down. Then Ilia took him down, and then it just kept getting worse and worse for him. But that's Ilia fucking Topuria. Yeah. That's not, maybe John Silva is going to be that one day. He's not right now. So...
Oh, my God. This is terrible.
I know, this is such a difficult one. This is such a different one. Because I could totally see Bryce taking him down for 3 rounds and controlling him.
Just holding him down.
But I could totally see Gene Silva throwing up a knee.
Knocking him out.
All right.
Damn. All right, I'm just going to run.
I'm writing one. You already have yours down? All right. 3, 2, 1. I've got Silva. Matt's got Silva. Elijah's got Bryce Mitchell.
You got Mitchell?
I got
Man,
Mitchell.
I went from Silva, then I toyed with Mitchell for most of it, then I just Silva.
I'm calling it. That's going to be the deciding factor on this whole card.
Yeah.
That would be wild, too.
The
toughest one so far.
Yeah, I like Bryce Mitchell and his camo shorts, but, I mean, the fighting nerds are the future.
Man.
Yeah, I like the fighting nerds. The fighting nerds as a whole are like... if we take all 4 of them, they're like my 4th favorite fighter in the world. If you mash them all up into like one block, then they'd fall behind like Max Holloway, Adrian Yanez, and then it'd be like the fighting nerds.
And they all came off tough, no?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
I think I just saw something on Twitter earlier.
So that's pretty impressive. I think Gene Silva actually came from the Dana White Contender Series.
Oh, the Contender Series.
Are they all...
not tough.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Wait, are they all in the same weight class or are they all in different weight classes?
Actually, it's 45, 55, 70, and 85.
They're building a team here. You're going to see this one. It's going to be wild like that.
Silva is 45. The guy who knocked out Bobby Green in the last card, Rufy, he's 55. Carlos Pratas is 70. And then Kallio Bahalio is 85.
Kallio Bahalio.
That's a fire name. That's top.
It is.
That's awesome.
Evil Paulo Costa.
Yeah. Evil Paulo Costa.
He needs to fight Paulo Costa.
I'm in, dude. Paulo Costa needs to fight.
Where is he? He's upping his stash of the secret juice.
He did just have a 49-46 against Strickland not too long
ago. Shut the hell up.
A 49-46?
Shut the hell up.
A 49-46. He earned that.
Just because one judge said that you can't... No, come on.
He beat him in the first 2 rounds.
Come on, dude. That's like Finney getting that 30 to 27. Like, there was a boxing judge on this past weekend's fight night, and the first fight of the main card was the guy Finney that I was talking about that looks like a shit brick house. He wrestled the entire time, landed 4 strikes, and all 4 were like in the last round. So he didn't land a single strike in the first 2 rounds, but he dominated the first 2 rounds without landing a single strike. One of the judges gave both the first and the second round to the other guy.
Really? That's the boxing judge?
Yeah. Okay. The boxing judge gave the guy laying on his back the rounds.
Now, how does he even get to be a judge in the UFC? Like, they kind of just share. Like, I know it works.
It's the commission.
But like to have a
The
straight
UFC
up
why didn't you have an MMA judge?
the UFC
judging
doesn't
MMA
really
fight?
get to decide that stuff. It's more the
the state.
athletic commission, yeah.
That's horrible.
So-
Just throw a judge in there.
I mean, I'd assume some states are worse and some are probably better.
Yeah, but this was in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Which
It
is-
should be the best. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't.
I was gonna say Vegas should have the best of the
so
best.
was
It-
Mark Goddard gonna do the NBA Finals?
Yeah, like imagine that would be wild.
Where was this last week? It definitely
No
wasn't.
fouls. No
Yeah.
fouls at all. Let him play, man.
Yeah. Like, oh, he got hit too soft.
I don't know. I don't have time right
Like
now to find
Giannis
this.
is
But
down on the ground.
Yeah.
He just got knocked out by an elbow. Goddard's like, fight's over. Fight's over. Call
It's
it.
over. What do you mean? The game still has to run. We have 7 minutes left in the quarter.
that's great. Yeah, I couldn't find where it was last week. I don't think it was in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Interesting though. That's weird. You have
Was
to
it?
look at that more.
Was it in the? No, it was in the Apex. It was definitely in the Apex. So they need to get their. They need to get that judge fired. I'm pretty sure it was in the Apex though last
Get
week.
him out of there.
All right. Next up, we've got Yair Rodriguez versus the debuting Patricio Pitbull from the Bellator cage. So, little backstory on Pitbull. I'm sure that most of us know Yair Rodriguez, former interim. It was in the Apex.
It was in the Apex.
The GOAT.
So Yair Rodriguez, former interim champ, lost to Volkanovski, lost to Max Holloway, but other than that, lost to Brian Ortega too. Don't forget that. He lost to Brian Ortega, and he's ranked higher than Brian Ortega, even though he just lost to Brian Ortega. Don't forget that.
And you mentioned the zombie fight, right?
Yeah, he beat the zombie. He was losing that fight, but he ended up beating him.
Yeah.
So we know about Yair Rodriguez's career. Patricio Pitbull might be the guy that you don't know about. So in Bellator, he's fought in, I think, 16, something like that, 16 title fights across 3 weight divisions, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
This guy is a beast. He has a win over Michael Chandler. His last loss in Bellator was to Sergio Pettis, which is Anthony Pettis' younger brother, who is basically the GOAT of Bellator at this point for the lighter weight divisions. And Patricio Pitbull has basically stormed through Bellator his entire career, most of the time fighting tomato cans, not going to lie, but he's got some good wins in there too.
No way.
He is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, and Yair Rodriguez is obviously a striker, as we know, who Yair Rodriguez was taken down and controlled by Max Holloway. Don't forget that when you're, taken down
Max
and controlled by Max Holloway.
Holloway was taken down and controlled by Conor McGregor.
Exactly. So that should tell you how bad Yair Rodriguez's ground game is. He gets one submission over Josh Emmett, and people are like, "Oh, this guy's ground." Dude, he got blown out by Brian Ortega. Well, Brian Ortega blew out his knee.
Yeah,
he
remember that?
blew out his
Oh
knee
my
and then went
God.
on to beat Yair after getting rocked in the first round too.
He got
He got rocked and dropped in the first round,
Bad. It almost was over.
and then went on to still beat Yair. Yair sucks. No offense, Yair. Like, you're a good fighter.
hothead, too.
You aren't a good MMA fighter. I remember that. He like yelled at Michael Bisping or something when Bisping came over to him because like there was a no contest and he was screaming at him. I don't think Yair Rodriguez is that good at MMA. I think that he has gotten very lucky with some of his big wins, like over Josh Emmett and the Korean Zombie. You can't honestly tell me that he's ever actually like won a fight. Like his from bell to bell has dominated a fight.
Like a quality.
Exactly. All of his wins are either flash submissions or flash knockouts or losing to guys that he shouldn't be losing to. So
No way you're about to have me write these two letters on the board.
okay, so either YR or PP.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to
Yep.
to put it there.
I've got my PP on the board too. 3, 2, 1. PP. Okay, we've all got Patricio Pitbull. I talked you guys into it. All right.
I was.
You were already on that
I think I
wave?
was already on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Yair's record is deceiving, honestly. Go look at his record.
really
Go
is.
look at his fights.
I just don't even like the way he fights. Like I feel like his strategy is just never there. You know, he's just kind of like winging.
I know
it.
what you mean.
It does.
Yair Rodriguez's record in context, he should probably be like 15th ranked.
I feel like if you just watch the entire fight with Rodriguez and Zombie, that almost just sums up his entire career.
Exactly.
Like most success, but like in like the last second, very lucky.
Yeah.
Like it was calculated, but like
He
was getting your butt whooped for about 25 minutes.
He did fairly good in the striking exchanges against Max Holloway, but like he still lost. He got beat up by Alexander Volkanovski, and he lost to Brian. I can't get over the Brian Ortega fight. How do you lose to Brian Ortega after he injures himself, gets knocked down, and then comes back and wins in the third round? How?
Sitting right here watching Ortega, he was jumping up, and then he lands on his leg all weird. Oh man!
How do you do it? Okay. Next up, we have Iron Mike Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett.
Iron Mike. That's really his name.
Yeah, that's his nickname, Iron Michael Chandler.
PPs in a row if you're
Paddy Pimblett. Yeah. You want to slap your PP back on the board? All right.
I think one's good enough.
There's something weird about this fight. There's something very weird because Paddy Pimblett. Who was the guy he fought last?
Bobby Green was
the guy
his last
before
one?
that.
Tony Ferguson.
In that fight, like you could see Paddy Pimblett's clear disadvantages. Like I don't know, there's something very weird about his striking.
He knocked down Tony Ferguson in that fight.
Tony Ferguson was old.
He was old, but also one of Michael Chandler's only wins in the UFC are to that old guy. Just want to let you know that. Michael Chandler has 2 wins in the UFC. Yeah, one of them are to that old guy as well.
He didn't just knock him down, though.
Yeah, he knocked him straight out.
And probably,
hey, but he got
Michael Chandler helped out Paddy fight him down the road.
Michael Chandler got dropped in that fight.
Yeah, he gets dropped in almost every fight.
He got dropped in that Tony Ferguson fight.
You could say Michael Chandler does have more experience than Paddy Pimblett.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's got like 15 years more experience. He started fighting in MMA before Paddy was alive at this point. So
I'm gonna tell you right now, he's got double the power Paddy's got.
Oh yeah,
easily double. The power.
I'd say the ground game.
Like this.
If we're talking strictly wrestling, Michael Chandler's got the wrestling. Mm-hmm. If we're talking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and who would actually win on the ground if they stayed just permanently on the ground, no striking, Paddy Pimblett would probably eventually submit him.
He's got a lot of grappling experience.
He'd eventually submit him, but this is MMA. Mm-hmm. And I haven't seen Paddy Pimblett striking at that level yet.
He's got to work on it.
It's not even close. It's not even close. Chandler's KO'ing him.
It's like he just goes out there.
Chandler's KO'ing him.
All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
You know what?
He's putting his PP on the board. Is he?
I'm going Paddy Pimblett.
Okay, whoa.
I'm going Paddy Pimblett.
Wow.
Paddy the bad. He's going to be singing Paddy the bad.
All right, so me and Matt both have Michael Chandler.
But I do want Chandler.
Okay. Elijah's got Paddy. That's funny because I'm the exact opposite. I want Paddy to win. Like I said, I want the prospects to finally like start making it to the top. I'm so sick of
Paddy's pretty likable.
Like I'm so sick of these like older guys just kind of sitting on their spots. Like they'll beat like one of the prospects and then they'll be like, okay, I could just sit here for another 5 years and then fight another prospect after I get my next title fight. It's like, no, you gotta like defend your spot a couple times. If you've already fought for the title, you should have to defend your spot like 2 or 3 times before getting back to the before you get back to the title.
At least Michael Chandler does fight.
Think about Michael Chandler right now. Michael Chandler has fought the number 1 or the number 2 guy in every single fight he's had in the UFC.
Dog.
He's lost all those though. That means that
Does he care?
Like he needs. He fought Charles Oliveira in a number 1 contendership fight in his last fight on a 3-fight losing streak. He fought for number 1. What are we doing here? Like,
why did that even happen though? What led to that?
It was just because
something weird.
It was just because Chandler and Conor McGregor fell out. So then they wanted to give Chandler like something good.
Yeah.
To thank you for waiting so long. Like we'll give you this guy.
I think Chandler's still going to show why he's going to show why he's a top guy.
Do you guys think it's going to be an awkward fight? Because Chandler's really good at surviving, and then like Paddy Pimblett, he's like fishy about it.
He ain't going to have to do no surviving. He's going to knock him the fuck
out.
I think he's just going to knock him out.
Dan Hooker style, like what he did to Dan Hooker in the debut.
I don't think Paddy's boxing's up. Like in Chandler, it's only because Chandler's wild. I think if Chandler were a fighter who would actually fight like very technically, like if he used half his brain for most of his fights, I could see Paddy's path to victory a little more. But since he's going to come out so wild, I'm telling you, Paddy's going to be like this, and he's just going to make his head do it.
The only way I can see Paddy winning is if Chandler like goes for something wild, and then like Paddy like gets his back really quickly.
I can see
Like
that.
Could do it,
very extremely quick back take. And he could probably submit him if he gets to his back. Patty's really good at jiu-jitsu. Like, if you haven't seen Patty grapple before, Patty's really good at jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Like, he's high level for the division in jiu-jitsu.
He's
Better
crazy.
than Oliveira.
No. And granted, Michael Chandler wasn't able to get submitted by Charles Oliveira, so I don't think he's going to by Patty. I'm just saying Patty's best way would be getting his back and submitting him. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that's like his best way.
I give it like 70% toward Chandler, 30 to Patty.
Patty should try a heel hook.
Something crazy.
Something
Catch
crazy.
him off guard. He's
Something
never
crazy.
encountered before.
All right, main event time. We've got Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez.
My goat.
26-4 to 26-6. Diego Lopez coming off of a win over Brian Ortega in his last fight. Before that, Dan Ige. Before that, it was Sadiq Youssef. Volkanovski is coming off of some rough losses. Ilia Topuria, Islam. He beat Yair before that, and then there was the loss to Islam again before that.
He whooped Yair. He whooped
Yair.
Wild.
I agree. Diego Lopez reminds me so much of a Yair Rodriguez that has grappling. Diego Lopez is like the more evolved version of Yair Rodriguez. He's got very good striking, and he's got the ground game.
Yep.
Elite ground game. We know Volkanovski doesn't get submitted.
No, he's
It's
got
not one of the things that he does. He doesn't get submitted easily. Exactly, not by Islam, not by Brian Ortega. All the best grapplers that have ever fought Volkanovski have not been able to submit him. Not even, I mean, Brian Ortega's gotten him close, but
Bro was looking like Megamind in that. I'm not gonna lie, his veins were popping.
How do you
straight
even get
out
out
of
of
his head.
something like that? You know how much adrenaline rush that is?
No neck.
exactly.
That was wild.
So I would just like to say the way that Brian Ortega, or the way that Diego Lopez versus Dan Ige played out is how I think that this fight versus Volkanovski will play out. I think Diego Lopez is going to come out real strong in the first two rounds. Really the first round. He's going to come out real strong, and if Volkanovski is able to survive that first round, Volkanovski is going to pick up the pace every round. Every round it's going to get worse for Lopez, and he's going to get drowned. Okay, let's predict, and then we'll talk more about it, because I think it's obvious who I think is going to win at this point, but all right, 3, 2, 1. Alexander Volkanovski. Matt and I both have Alexander Volkanovski, and Elijah has Diego Lopez.
Little reference.
Okay, so every time Diego Lopez fights, if you've seen this channel, I have now predicted for 4 Diego Lopez fights on this channel in the last year. I have voted against Diego Lopez in every single fight. He has won the 3 fights that have already happened that I've predicted for. I've been wrong on Diego Lopez every time, and I keep saying after every time, I need to stop doubting this guy. Every time I say it. You could go back to the 306 reaction video. You can go back to the 303 live reaction video. You go back to the 300 live reaction video. Every time I have said, I'm going to stop doubting this guy. Then they match him up against someone who I doubt. Like, then they match him up against Brian Ortega, and I'm like, he's not going to beat Brian Ortega, and then he beats Brian Ortega. And then they match him up against Volkanovski, and I'm like, he's not going to beat Volkanovski. And then
He loses to Volkanovski.
yeah. We'll see about that. Like I said, Diego Lopez is very good. I just think that he has openings. I think that he has flaws. The Dan Ige fight is a perfect example, and Volkanovski is wildly better than Dan Ige.
You know, I think this fight's gonna be spectacular because if you see the way both Volkanovski and Diego Lopez fight, I think both of their strengths feed into each other's weaknesses. So this fight's more 50-50 than anything.
I don't know about that, dude. How do you think Diego Lopez gets it done?
He only gets it done through knockout, and he has that power. It has to be through a speedy knockout.
Does he have that power,
I
though?
think he would submit him, and I know we were just talking about how Volk doesn't get submitted, but I feel like that would be his way. Show him something weird, something new.
I think that Diego Lopez does carry a lot of power in the first round. If Brian Ortega can survive that knockdown, like you remember that like overhand left hook from Diego Lopez, and it like shut him down and woke him back up. I think if you're landing that on Brian Ortega and he doesn't go out and you go to decision with him, I don't think you're knocking out Volkanovski.
Volk's been chinny though last couple of
He
weeks.
has been,
that's
but that's
the
against Iliad.
only
But that's a
problem.
year ago. That's over a year ago now.
He finally took the time off that he probably needed.
It's been a year since he fought Ilya.
Yeah, that was in February of last year.
Wow.
So it's already been a year and 2 months. It's been 14 months since that knockout.
After not taking time off after getting knocked
And then
out.
we're also talking about Ilya Taporia, the guy who broke Max Holloway's chin. Never thought that would happen. One guy has broken Max
I could've
Holloway's
expected
chin.
that. I could've expected
One person has broken Max Holloway's chin. It's Ilya Taporia. And also Islam Makhachev, who is a weight above, and also not just a weight above. This guy is like 190 pounds. If he lands that head kick on you, you're going to bed. So it does, like, I don't know. I kind of like, I get it. He might be chinny now, but like I kind of give him that excuse where it's like it's been 14 months. He fought two really powerful guys. I don't think Diego Lopez is as powerful as Ilya or Islam.
Hey, if his chin's not broke, I hope his spirit's not broke.
I don't
Because
think it is.
he's got to be fine. Like
I think he's going to come out there and
he's gone
fight.
through probably worse before.
Yeah.
But
And especially now he's got so much motivation. Now this is for the world title against a guy who has openings. He has holes. If you watch the Dan Ige fight, you'll know that Diego Lopez has holes. Like that, all you have to do is watch that fight, and you could see if I make it through the first, second round and I start turning it up, this guy's gonna get smothered.
so
Yeah, I mean that's really like I like Diego Lopez. I just think Volkanovski is still the man. Like
Volkanovski, he's a little bit on the older side, and I do have a thing about betting against the younger fighter because it's like I don't doubt that Volkanovski can't win this fight. My whole thing is who wants it more. Who really? It's gonna come down to who really wants it more. Is like Diego Lopez. He's the younger guy. He's getting his opportunity. He's gonna be willing to eat a couple shots and go through the fire to get that belt. And that type of grit and determination is really what's gonna change the fight. But if he doesn't have that, I could easily see him losing.
well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Does the grit and determination outweigh Volkanovski's fight IQ and veteran instincts and experience? Because Volkanovski's not going to let Diego Lopez come out like a ball of fire. Volkanovski's going to do what Volkanovski does. He's going to pivot. He's going to step back. He's going to throw that jab, and he's going to take you down if you get too close. He's going to push you up against the cage. He's going to smother you up against the cage, and then he's going to bop, 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 bop. Just bop, bop, bop all day. It's what Volkanovski does. He keeps you at distance, and he's really good at range management. Really good at it. One of the best I've ever seen at range management. So he's not going to let Diego Lopez just come out like a ball of fire. Diego Lopez might try to. Volkanovski's going to shut that down. That's just my belief. I think that he's going to be able to. Does Diego Lopez catch him with something? Maybe. That's MMA. That's just MMA. That could happen in any fight. I think you gotta. I don't think you go based off of Volkanovski's get knocked out last time.
Nah,
I think you have to go off of how skilled is Volkanovski. Don't worry about his chin. How skilled is he? And I think he's more skilled than Dan Ige. And Dan Ige, 5 rounds probably would have put Lopez out cold.
I think that the skill's the only thing that you could kind of judge this fight off, and that's why I chose Volk. Because other than that, I feel like this fight's going to look different than pretty much any other Volk fight I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I can't compare it to say, oh, well, it's going to look like a Volk Holloway fight, or it's going to look like like Yair. I don't think it's going to look like anything like that.
On the feet, I think it might look something like the Yair fight. On the ground, I think it'll look something like the Brian Ortega fight.
So it's going to look a little different than...
You're going to see similarities to fights, but the whole fight on a whole is going to be so much different.
It's gonna be weird.
It's not just going to be in one area. It's going to be fought throughout every aspect of MMA. That's what I...
It's going to be a good display of mixed martial
I think
arts
so.
on Saturday
I think
night.
so. I think that's it. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about, then you could dive right in. I've got a little bit of an update to give everyone, but if you guys have anything you want to talk about.
I'm all good, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is UFC 314, right? Yeah. UFC 314. Excited for the next one, too, which will be Hill versus Roundtree. I think that's in 2 weeks. We have next week off. We'll probably come with a podcast for you guys for, we'll definitely have a live reaction coming out probably on Sunday, where we'll sit down and actually watch it live. I think Elijah will be on his first ever one. He will be coming here. We will be doing a live reaction this Saturday. That'll be on the channel on Sunday. If you haven't seen any of our live reactions, go back and watch a couple of those. After that, we're probably going to do Elijah and I will sit down. Maybe Matt can come too. And we'll do our actual breakdown probably on Tuesday, our podcast, just like this. After that, the next week, we will be doing a reaction to Hill versus Roundtree, or we'll do predictions for Hill versus Roundtree the week after that, depending on when it is. Other than that, we are now on Spotify, iTunes, and every other podcasting app that you can get on. Not Amazon Prime yet. They take about a week to review you, so probably by next week for Amazon Prime. Other than that, Spotify, iTunes, go check us out on those. We are on all of those now. Not every episode is going to come out on iTunes and Spotify because there's a limit to how much you can post on the app that I use, unless you want to pay more, and I'm pretty cheap right now. We'll see, but there will be some podcasts out on there if you want to check us out on Spotify, iTunes, or any other podcasting site that you may use. We're on all of them. And thank you guys for watching. Go check out all of the stuff that we have to offer you guys. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As always, thank you, Elijah, for coming. I always appreciate when you show up here. And thank you for moving your time schedule to do this during the day.
Of course, can't miss it.
Thank you, Matt, for coming. I'll see you in a couple of minutes after this.
Of course.
So
yes.
that'll be exciting. Congratulations on your victory from last week. Even though you tied with Tyler.
Yes.
He deserves another shot at you, so we'll get him on the show next week.
We'll get him to order his Burger King back over here.
And I've been your host, Justin. So thank you guys for watching the Hardcore and the Casual podcast. Peace out. MMA fans, if you want more content like this, please click right here. Go under playlists and check out all the variety we have to offer. And if you want a suggestion on where to start, click on this video right here. If you want to be up to date or communicate with us on any of our social media platforms, check out That Casual HQ. And we will see you all soon. Stay casual.